Right. Last night, the Iranians launched 320 plus cruise and ballistic missiles and drones. It's a blessing that the Israelis find only 1% got through. But not every night is going to be that good. And unless Iran sees a powerful response, that risk will continue. And the way to reestablish deterrence is not proportional. That's academic talk. The way you establish deterrence is by telling your adversary, if you ever try that again, the price you will pay will be so much higher than any gain you think you can get, you shouldn't even think about it. So I think Israel has a wide range of potential targets. You start by flattening Iran's air defense capabilities. Next, you might go after headquarters of the regular military and the Revolutionary Guard. You could consider going after their oil infrastructure, the oil fields, the distribution pipelines, the export port facilities. And most importantly, I think Israel should be looking at this as an opportunity to destroy Iran's nuclear weapons program, which is the existential threat that Israel faces. I don't know what they'll do. I can't predict it, but I will tell you this. If Joe Biden, as some press reports have it, is urging the Israelis not to retaliate at all, he is an embarrassment to the United States. This is an American interest to make sure that Iran, which is the principal threat to international peace and security in the region, is at a minimum put in its place, to spare Israel, to spare the Gulf Arabs, to spare us from the threat that they pose.
So, look, I don't think there's anybody in the White House that if they could snap their fingers and have the Iranian regime disappear wouldn't do so. The question about what you're proposing would be that doesn't necessarily end the conflict. That might actually just escalate the conflict. And then you have Iran responding even more harshly and even more successfully. And who knows what their nuclear capabilities are right now. And how does one avoid that happening?
Well, let's start with what we don't know about their nuclear capabilities. Do you want to tell Israel to roll the dice that next time a salvo of ballistic missiles comes into their territory, it won't be nuclear? I think that's the point that Israel needs to focus on. And I would say this, too, about this escalation, this fear of a wider war. The administration fears a wider war because it's worried about gasoline prices in the United States. It's worried about the left wing of the Democratic Party. The fact is, Israel's been in a wider war since October the 7th, which the administration has resolutely refused to recognize. If you don't understand the strategic environment, you can't possibly respond to it effectively. This theater of operations has 5 battlefields at the moment. Certainly Hamas in Gaza, the Houthis closing the Red Sea to international sea traffic, the Hezbollah attacking northern Israel, Shia militia groups in Iraq and Syria. Now we see Iran itself. And even yesterday they hijacked, I believe it was a Philippine ship on the high seas. So there are 5 sources of pressure here. It's not necessarily the world's most effective alliance, but it's one battle plan, which the Iranians call the Ring of Fire. And the administration needs to face up to that, which it has not done so far.